Multi-digit multiplication using number chips. This is a digital lesson. This introduces students to multiplying with larger numbers. The number chips make it fun for the students. They can move these around their screen. And it starts with explaining to the students how to line up the numbers. So you want to line them up in the ones place, the same way you would if you were adding or subtracting. If one of the numbers has more digits than the other, then that number will go in the top row. And then it starts out showing how to multiply a 3-digit by a 1-digit number. So we're going to start with multiplying from right to left. So 3 times 3, 3 times 2, and then 3 times 5. And it shows that on the next slide. So 3 times 3 is 9. We place the 9. 3 times 2, and this is actually 3 times 20. So the number 6 would go in the tens place as 60. And then 3 times 5 is 15. So the students are going to start on slide 5. They're going to be moving these numbers into the correct place to do their multiplication. So there's two problems here. We have from right to left, 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. And they just click and hold on the edge of these numbers, and then they can move them into place. And you'll notice that each one of these problems has a letter and a yellow heart. So on the final slide, they're going to be solving a riddle by matching this letter to its answer. And they've got another problem here on the right. Every slide has every number that the students need. So especially when these problems get a little bit more difficult, they get to the end and the numbers aren't working, they know they've made an error somewhere and they need to go back and check again. So in that way, it's self-checking. Here they have two more problems. Then they're shown what to do when they have to carry a number. So here, if we multiply from right to left, we get 7 times 4 is 28. Well, the 8 is going to stay here. The 2 we're going to carry all the way up here to the next column to the left, here above this 4. So when they multiply here 4 times 40, so they get 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 is 18. The 8 stays here, the 1 they're going to carry to the next column to the left. So they'll have 4 times 6 is 24, plus 1 is 25. And the first few problems here, students actually have little number chips for the numbers that they carry. So here, 5 times 2 is 10. They're going to place the 0, carry the 1. 5 times 6 is 30. They're going to place plus 1 is 31. So they'll place the 1, carry the 3. 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 3 is 23. They're going to carry the 2. And then we have 25 plus 5 plus 2 is 27. And again, they're matching their answer to a letter. So they've got a few more to practice. Then they're shown what to do when they have a 3-digit by a 2-digit. They're going to have two multiplications that are separate. They're going to multiply 3 times 312 and 2 times 312, or 20 times 312. And since we're actually multiplying by 20, this second row has to start with a 0. And it shows students how to do that, and then they're going to practice on their own. And you can see these problems get more difficult. There are more numbers that they have to use. So when they get to the end, if the numbers are not working, then they need to go back and check again. So they'll have the two rows of multiplication. They're going to multiply separately. 4 times this number, and then 20 times this number. And then they're going to add the two multiplications together. They get down to slide 15. They've got a 4-digit by a 3-digit. And here those two zeros in the third row are already added. Since we're multiplying by 300, they have to start with 2 zeros. So it gets a little bit more difficult as they go. They get lots of practice. Now, when they get down to that last slide, they've got a riddle. They're going to go back through the previous slides. They're going to find these answers and they're going to type in the letter that's in the yellow heart. If they do it correctly, they will answer the riddle. What tool is best suited for math? So this is a digital lesson, multi-digit multiplication with number chips.